My name is Dorothy McCoy. I live in Greenville, South Carolina. I worked on the Manhattan Project and I helped build the first atom bomb. I've lived in Greenville all of my life until I went to Oak Ridge. Yes, and I went when I was 21 years of age. When my husband decided that when he got out of the Army and he wanted to go to Oak Ridge to work, he was interviewed here in Greenville, South Carolina, and then we moved up to Oak Ridge. When we first went there, we went through 3 security points when we went to work. Things eased up and got better, but you would go to a terminal and get on a work bus. You would catch a bus wherever you lived, go to this big work terminal, and you would catch your work bus there. You would go from your work bus up to your where you worked, and then you would get on another shuttle bus to carry you out, and they would carry you to where you checked in to work. And you'd go about, seemed like to me we would ride about 5 miles and on the work bus, and they'd stop, soldiers would get on and check your bus, they would check everybody's badge. There were 2 or 3, they'd get on and they'd look at everybody's badge and face, and then they would get off, and then we'd go on to another one, and then they checked us again before we got on the shuttle bus to go over to the workplace. And oftentimes you didn't ever understand it, but sometimes they'd even have more security. They would check you when you got off for some reason. But you knew, and you could tell there would be, oftentimes there'd be more security guards on than in other times. Well, the first job we did, we worked behind construction, and everything, there was so many pipes in that thing, and every pipe had to be tested and it wouldn't leak. They had a vacuum machine that was about half as large as this room, I guess. And they would hook those pipes up, and then when they put them in place, after we tested them, and then when they put them in place, they would put vacuum on all those pipes, and to see if they were leaking. They had panels and things, and that we run, and we could find out if they were leaking. And if they were leaking, they would have to go in and hunt the leak and all of that they had installed, and make it tight. And to do that, they would have to take helium and go in and probe each well on every pipe in a section till they found it. I mean, they was really tight before they started that up. Wasn't any leaks, and that's the way it was. After construction, we went up to another level, and it was all panels and things. It told them how how everything was going through the pipes. Is that what it, and you had a panel board that you watched and you kept up with, and they taught you how to operate all those panels. I was free to move around. I was lucky I was in a little room, but it was not in. It was like it as well as I had iron up, just to mark off the room part. And then it had black panels, big black things, and it had dozens of panels on it. But and you watched your panels. You knew, you had a phone in in there, because there was other men out there working. But I had my supervisor, like I said, had to come on a. It was such a large thing. He had to come on a bicycle to check me, and he would come about twice a night. But they taught you how those things were supposed to go, and you did different things and took readings of all those things every so many hours, every so often, and you recorded everything. Even when on construction work, you kept logbooks. We was there when they dropped the A-bomb, and we had to go up to the square. We couldn't find out what all the commotion was about, so we went up to the square. That's where you went to find out everything. They had squares in each community, and we had to go to 2 or 3, and they had put, all the papers had been sold, so they had put papers up on big bulletin boards behind glass where we could see, that the A-bomb had been dropped. I was truly glad. I felt that there would be an end to the war, and I was truly glad and happy. Now, lots of people, and I think everybody was, but I had this one man ask me one time, how did you feel knowing that all them people died? Well, listen, boys that I went to school with was dying every day. And back then in our neighborhood, when we didn't have too many telephones, in the Western Union, when the Western Union came out and your boy came out on a bicycle in your community, and he had a telegram during the war, you knew it most of the time. If they went to a house where that boy, there was a boy serving, you knew it was bad news. That person had got hurt or was dead. So, and another thing, Russia and China and Japan was all trying to develop the bomb. And it was who gets there first. And I was glad we run the race. When your friends are dying, you think about things like that. War's war. It's a sad time, a bad time and a sad time. Not anything good about it. I felt like that we was doing something to help the country. That it must be something that was going to help the country. And everybody was wanting the war to end, And it was such a sad time. But they didn't, it was that secretive. One person didn't know what the other one was doing. If our country ever got like that again, I'd do everything I could. And I think anybody would. If you cared for this country, you would.